Okay, so first off, go ahead and state your name and title for the camera.
My name is Kwa Huyen. I'm the Director of New Business Development for Matthews LLC.
Okay. Let's start off with a question that a lot of Americans might have. What is a crepe?
What is a crepe? A crepe, it is a very thin pancake is the best way that I can describe it. Yeah, a thin pancake.
Okay. And where did the idea for coming up with a creperie in South Bend come from?
The crepe idea really was inspired by Dave Matthews, the owner of Matthews LLC. He's a world traveler. He's been all over around the world having different kinds of food and whatnot. And one of his favorite foods is crepes, are crepes. And so a few years ago, there was a bakery here in town that thought about starting up a creperie, and Dave got really excited about it. But however, that plan kind of went downhill, and it never actually materialized. So Dave kind of thought, this is a really good idea. I have space here in the Emporium, and why not? Let's get it started.
And how long have you been in business so far?
We have been in business since August 16th of 2014.
Right.
The same day that there was Art Beat downtown South Bend.
Okay. And how much have you grown so far?
So far, so we've been in business for about a week or so. Not a week, a month. And in this first month, we've been really focused on just getting all the procedures, everybody trained, and just making sure that we produce the best product possible for our customers. And as far as growing, we're growing slowly. Right now we're really focused on reaching a broader customer base, letting people know that this crepe stand does exist here in South Bend, and just trying to get more people into the door and actually enjoying our product.
So tell me a little bit about the concept behind Smoothies, Crepes, and Coffee.
So the concept behind Smoothies, Crepes, and Coffee, well, we specialize in three things: smoothies, crepes, and coffee. The concept is, if I can backtrack a little bit.
Sure.
Dave has a vision for this, pretty much this block of South Bend, on Niles Street here. He bought the lot on the other side of the road, on the east side of Niles Avenue here. He's developed a row of townhomes there, and he just got approval to build a 7-story mixed-use building right on the corner of Jefferson and Niles. And the concept behind the crepe stand is that we want to use this crepe stand as kind of a pilot project for what's going to happen next. Dave wants to see if we can get this with the structure and the management team that he has already in place for all of his other companies. Can we start up a crepe stand the size of a food truck, have a team of people who are trained to make crepes, smoothies, and coffee, and then get all the procedures down into what I like to call a playbook. And then once we have all that and the business is profitable, we're going to move into phase 2 of the pilot, which is getting food trucks. And once we get those food trucks, we want to entice local chefs who have the aspiration to open up their own restaurant someday, but they need to have that experience of owning and actually operating their own business. So we want to entice that target audience to come and say, you know what, sure, I would love to run a food truck on my own. This is the kind of cuisine that I want to cook, and I want to introduce to the population of South Bend. Have them come, operate, run their food truck. Dave is going to put up the initial investment for it, and we want to see if can we take the same procedures, the playbook, if you will, from the crepe stand, give it to these aspiring chefs, and have them run their food truck successfully. If they can demonstrate that they are successful at running their own food truck business, then the next phase is going back to that mixed-use building across the street that I was telling you about. We want to get them into a space on the first floor of that building, which will become restaurants. And we want to have them actually open up their restaurant in this building. with using the experience and the knowledge that they just gained from operating their own food truck. So that's kind of the 3-phase plan for what we're trying to do here at Matthews LLC, and then with the food industry.
What's the timeline for each of the phases?
So the timeline right now, we want to get the crepe stand. We're still very much so in the initial stages of getting the crepe stand up and running. Within the next month, we want to really heavily advertise our business, and then we want to show at least 3 to 4 months of profitability. So I would say within the next 4 to 5 to 6 months or so, if we can show that everything is working out for us, then we're going to move ahead with phase 2, which is the food trucks. And we're also kind of timing this with the seasons as well.
Right.
Opening up the food truck lot during the winter will be kind of difficult. Not impossible, but it would be a little difficult, so we want to kind of time it so that it does make sense for us to open up that business.
Okay. Your Yelp page mentions that this venture is a social experiment. What do you mean by that?
So with the social experiments, so at Matthews LLC, we're not just in the business of developing real estate. We want to develop a vibrant downtown, a walkable, livable community for everybody to enjoy. We want to show that people are here in downtown South Bend. So the social experiment for us here with the crepe stand is that if we produce a product that is using ingredients, just to back up, using ingredients that is locally sourced or organically certified, so good quality product, and then we are also paying all of our employees a living wage. So the social experiment is if we're providing all this, the good ingredients, paying our employees well, can we attract more people down to downtown South Bend? And so, we want to see if this works. We want to see if the business aspect of it is viable. And is this something that the community, the greater South Bend area, actually cares about? And I would like to believe that they do. And I hope it succeeds.
So in a sense, this is really an experiment to see if not only a business can pay its employees properly and compensate them well, but also provide a product that is locally sourced and environmentally sustainable.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Couldn't put it better myself.
What kind of crepes are on the menu?
Well, so here's the unique thing about our crepes, and this is one of the biggest surprises to our customers so far, is that we not only do we serve the traditional crepes that people are used to, which are they're sweet crepes, and more of a dessert kind of crepe. We put fresh fruit in it, strawberries, blueberries when we can source it.
Right.
Blueberries are really hard to come by these days. We're out of season, so whenever we can get the big 10-pound boxes of blueberries from a local blueberry ranch, we're jumping on that. Like, yes, please give us everything that you have, because we go through so much blueberries. And then we've been doing raspberry whenever we can get our hands on those, bananas, and then we make our own homemade hazelnut spread. So those are your traditional sweet crepes, but we also serve savory crepes, and an example of a savory crepe would be a Denver omelet crepe. So we have it on the menu, and a lot of our customers come in and they're like, wait, that Denver omelet, is that in the crepe? Like, well, our response is usually, well, we are a crepe stand, so yeah, everything goes in the crepe. So I think that's one of the unique things about our crepes, is that we do sweet and savory, and it's very exciting to us when the customers' faces kind of lit up and they just learned something new. It's like, oh wow, a crepe is so versatile. We can do whatever we want with a crepe. That's absolutely true. Yes, you can.
So obviously the ingredients change from day to day, which means the crepes change from day to day. Could you mention some of the businesses that you're associated with? I know that you mentioned Purple Porch Co-op. Maybe local farmers.
So our ingredients do change on a daily basis for the savory crepe. For as far as we can keep the supply for the fresh fruits. We do have some staples, like the blueberry, the banana, Nutella.
Right.
The fruit, the savory or the sweet crepes, I should say, those are pretty much kind of a staple. They don't change that much, but our savory crepe does change. Our head chef, he has kind of the liberty to make whatever savory crepe that he feels inclined to do. And that's really just depending on him going to the market someday and just saying, this looks the freshest, and I'm inspired to make this crepe. And we've had the chicken cordon bleu crepe, we've had a chicken Dijonais, we've had a steak and egg crepe, but we supply the majority of our produce from the Purple Porch Co-op, and the Purple Porch Co-op, they deal directly with farmers here within a 60-mile radius of South Bend. So they directly deal with farmers, and we source from them. So we don't actually go and we don't deal directly with any farmers, but we do want to make sure that our foods are locally sourced, and if not locally sourced, USDA certified organic. And then when we can't get to if we can't get the ingredients from the Purple Porch, we will go to Whole Foods, or when we can't get to Whole Foods, we'll just we'll even go to Martin's. But we do make sure that all of our food are organic, or if we can get locally sourced, that'd be great too. That's the preferred, but we do want to make sure that they are organic.
Okay. And what's the price range?
The price range, so our cheapest crepe is a plain zest crepe. It has a orange zest in it, and we also have an orange glaze that we added to that, but that's $3. And our savory crepes usually run between $7 and $8, depending on what's in it.
Assuming that business continues to go well, what does the future hold for Smoothies, Crepes, and Coffee?
Well, we hope within the next several months that we establish ourselves as going to be the premier crepe stand in South Bend, because we have 3 products that we provide. We have the smoothies, we have the crepes, and we have the coffee. So we want we want to establish our names as being that the place that we can go to get the crepes, get that locally sourced crepe in South Bend. And then actually the other thing that I haven't mentioned yet is our coffee. We serve Intelligentsia Coffee.
Okay.
Intelligentsia is a brand out of Chicago. They are a fairly traded coffee producer, roaster. They deal directly with coffee farmers in South America, Latin America, Africa. So they actually have direct deals with those farmers, and there are 2 types of coffee that they have. They have single origin coffee, meaning that all the beans from that batch of coffee comes from one coffee farm, and whichever country or farmer that they're dealing with. The blends usually the beans come from multiple sources, but they're all fairly traded. And the method for the coffee production is actually very unique. We do a single pour over cup. So we grind the beans when you order the cup of coffee, and then we'll do a hot water pour over of the coffee. So it takes about 3 minutes per cup of coffee to be made. It's very unique, but it's what I've been told and what I've experienced is it's one of the best cups of coffee in town. And as of right now, we're only the 2nd location in South Bend that I know of that serve Intelligentsia Coffee.
So you're already beating Starbucks.
We're already beating Starbucks. I honestly think we do have one of the best cup of coffee in town, and some of our customers have actually told us that. And to be truthful, I never heard of Intelligentsia Coffee until I started working here, and hey, now I'm kind of hooked on the coffee.
Okay. What are your hours of operation?
So we are open Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. through to 9 p.m. And Saturday and Sunday we're open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay. And what's the address, and what's the easiest way to get here?
So we are located in the Emporium building, located on the corner of Niles Avenue and Jefferson Boulevard. The address is 121 South Niles Avenue, South Bend, Indiana 46617. And the best way to get here is if you're coming from the south. Head north on Michigan, St. Joseph Street, take a right onto Jefferson, and then take a left onto Niles. If you're coming from the north, head south on Main Street. I would take a left on Colfax and then take a right onto Niles Avenue. And we have parking in the on the side lots, or there's street parking right in front of the Emporium building. So it's very accessible, and it's very easy to get to.
Okay. Where can people find you online?
So people can find us online on, we have a website, smoothiescrepescoffee.com. We are on Facebook. Just search for Smoothies, Crepes, and Coffee. We're also on Yelp. We're on TripAdvisor. And those are kind of the avenues that we're starting with right now. And we'd love to hear from our customers if they can leave us a review on Yelp or TripAdvisor, or just leave us a comment on Facebook.
Okay. Well, thanks for taking the time with us today, Kwa. I think I'm going to go ahead and dig into one of these crepes.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I hope you guys enjoy.
Thanks.